another part of the planet, the United States is all set to ban abortion. We told you about this yesterday. Cynics say it's not a ban, it's a choice that has been given to American states, not to American women. And that is a fundamental problem. This choice should be a woman's and a woman's only. Whether to continue a pregnancy or to abort cannot be a state's choice.
It's your body, your choice. Your body, your body.
What do we want? Abortion rights. What do we want? Abortion rights. What do we want them? Yeah. Pro-choice, that's a lie. Babies never choose to die.
But the US Supreme Court seems to disagree. Its leaked ruling cites ancient history in defense. This leaked ruling, the draft that we told you about yesterday, says that since the founders of the US Constitution did not mention the right to abortion, that right cannot be guaranteed by the federal administration. FYI, the American Constitution was first signed in the year 1787, and of the 55 delegates, at least 15 had refused to sign the document. Do you know why? They objected to the lack of a Bill of Rights, human rights. My point is, the American Constitution, like every other constitution, was not foolproof then. And it is not perfect now. But now is a chance for America to change, to codify abortion rights. The onus is on the 46th President of the United States of America, President Joe Biden, a man who not too long ago was anti-abortion. Today, he's treading carefully.
Look, the idea that it concerns me a great deal that we're going to, after 50 years, decide a woman does not have a right to choose within the limits of the Supreme Court decision in Casey, number one. But even more, equally as profound is the rationale used. Right. And it would mean that every other decision relating to the notion of privacy is thrown into question.
Women should have the right to choose, and that goes without saying. But what exactly is the President of the United States doing to ensure that women of his country have the right to choose? Joe Biden has asked the Congress to codify Roe versus Wade. What does that mean? Roe versus Wade is a US Supreme Court ruling. This ruling guarantees the right to abortion. Now, Biden is telling the US Congress to turn it into a federal law, codify it. But at the same time, Biden has refused to end filibuster. What is filibuster? A way to prolong the proceedings of the House so that a bill is not passed or a decision is not taken. Basically, it's a roadblock. So any conservative senator can choose to delay the proceedings of the bill by rambling on and on. The bill will be delayed, and by then, the Supreme Court of the United States will serve women's rights on a platter to American states. Joe Biden says if that does happen, it will be a quote-unquote fundamental shift in American jurisprudence.
Well, you know, if this decision holds, it's really quite a radical decision. And again, the underlying premise, and again, I've not had a chance to thoroughly go into the report, the decision. But it basically says all the decisions relating to your private life, who you marry, whether or not you decide to conceive a child or not, whether or not you can have an abortion, a range of other decisions, whether or not how you raise your child. What does this do? Does this mean that in Florida they can decide they're going to pass a law saying that same-sex marriage is not permissible? It's against the law in Florida? So there's a whole, it's a fundamental shift in American jurisprudence.
How far is he willing to go to stop this from happening? Joe Biden is America's second Catholic president. His political career started in the year 1973, the same year as Roe versus Wade. Back then, Biden, the senator, had opposed abortion. He said the Supreme Court had gone, quote-unquote, too far in legalizing abortion across America. The following year, Biden gave an interview. He said that a woman should not, and I repeat, a woman should not have the quote-unquote sole right to say what should happen to her body. A woman should not have the sole right to say what should happen to her body. This is Joe Biden. Well, who else should then? By 2012, Biden had become less tone deaf. He was running for the vice presidential office. Listen to what he said during a debate.
I accept my church's position on abortion as what we call de fide doctrine. Life begins at conception. That's the church's judgment. I accept it in my personal life. But I refuse to impose it on equally devout Christians and Muslims and Jews. And I just refuse to impose that on others, unlike.
Well, now is Biden's time to fight this imposition. Biden's presidential campaign was pro-abortion, pro-reproductive rights. He said he has the most progressive record for anyone running for president. He promised to be a president who is great for women's rights. Well, now is his test. When human rights were compromised in Xinjiang, China, President Biden slapped sanctions. When reports of war crimes emerged from Ukraine, President Biden slapped sanctions. Now the Supreme Court of America is all set to violate the rights of more than 167 million women living in the US. Does the Commander-in-Chief of Human Rights plan to go beyond lip service? Or is he looking to score brownie points from this verdict? Why do I say this? Because he stands to gain politically from this order. The abortion ruling is being touted as the most polarizing verdict in recent history. This ruling, like we've been telling you, is due late June or early July, and that's just in time for the November midterm elections. A ruling against abortion will benefit the Democrats. Estimates say more than 60% of Americans support the right to abortion. A ban on abortion will most likely nudge them to vote for Democrats. So that's the politics that Biden will be keeping in mind. A ban on abortion helps his party, but it also hammers his promises and his presidency. This catch-22 is a test for Joe Biden, who for decades dreamt of being president. America remembers Ronald Reagan as the anti-abortion president, the man who launched the most devastating attack on abortion rights. This is Biden's chance to be remembered as a president who left his personal leanings aside, who left his church teachings aside, the president who ignored political calculations to do what is right. Will Joe Biden pass this test? Or will he become party to this human rights violation in America? We'll not stop reporting on this story. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.